Hi guys, my name's Liam and you're watching Zombie Boffin Studios' first episode to our mini-series where we're going to be giving you guys an insight into exactly what it is we do and how we make our games and the software and the packages that we use to go about achieving that. We're a small development indie company, so our budgets are small, so any of you that are interested in getting into the industry will be quite intrigued in some of the ways around being able to produce some of the high quality end stuff without having to fork out quite a large amount of money. If you're interested in anything that you see or about us and want to find out more, you can also follow us at www.zombieboffinstudiosltd.com. Zombie Boffin Studios Ltd is all one word, so that's www.zombieboffinstudiosltd.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, like our page, or on Twitter, and you'll be able to get all the latest updates and promos for any of our newly released games. For example, you'll be able to see on the screen in front of you is an app icon for Water Jettas vs Megalodon, which came out in September. We currently have a promo available for that. If you visit our website, you can get a code which will allow you to access 5 brand new customized jetpacks, which will give you new abilities and power-ups in race mode and also the normal game mode. So check it out guys, it's worth it, it's all free. Likewise, the game's free to download, so it's worth a look. But to get on with our episode, I will begin by showing you Lua Glider, which is what we use to actually write our games in. Once we've written our games, we then build it in the Corona SDK, and that can either be as a simulator or for actual distribution. But before we get too much into that, let's show you Lua Glider. This is Lua Glider. In Lua Glider you can see it's broken up into 4 boxes. These 4 main boxes will give you bits of information about your project while you're building and testing the game. In the top left corner here we've got all our files and folders, everything from the images that will be loading into the game, sound effects, to the actual engine itself, and which runs in the background, which the player won't ever get to actually see, but it's there churning away, making the game work and getting information and processing other bits of data and such. And then in the centre bit here at the top we've got then the actual scene itself, or the code in which you can see bits of information. And as you can see on this page here, we've got the configuration open, and you can see there's the height and width aspect ratio for screens dependent on the device. We also then have our scaling, and you'll also notice just here there's FPS equals 60. What this means is frames per second, and it means that when we are running a runtime event, checking for updates, we're checking it 60 times per second. So that's always an important thing to remember. Towards the bottom here we've got our log report, which is basically any information while we're running the game will show up here. So you can see earlier I ran a simulated version of our game, and it's giving us all the information of the plugins loaded in, telling us what things aren't available on the simulator, letting us know our particle systems working a-okay, and then when we cancelled out of that it tells us, you know, everything said goodbye, fine, okay, no problem, exiting out. So finally, on the bottom left hand side then, this is where the scenes, functions and events are shown. So because we're in configurator at the moment, you can't see that, but say if I go to start game scene here, suddenly Navigator fills up with all the functions that are in the scene and also the events. So these are functions. So when the scene first created, we create a background, a fade in and fade out, the front and the middle. And then we've actually got things in terms of central to actually creating and exiting out of a scene. Create the scene, entered the scene. So once you actually created it, you're actually going into the scene, exiting it and destroying everything in the scene. With Lua Glider and Corona, they use a scripting language that's similar to Unity in that it's got very similar characteristics to C# and Java. And one of the nice aspects of coding with Lua Glider for Corona is that it has the same sort of garbage handling aspects of Java. So you're far less likely to suffer with errors and other problems from disposing of used objects and assets. Okay, so that gives you guys a bit of an insight into Lua Glider. Let's show you the next part, because as I said, we build it in Lua Glider, but then we actually run or you know, build a distribution version, I should say, using the Corona SDK. So if we click on that Corona simulator here, there we go, you can see the Corona SDK here. We can either open a project and simply just take it straight into the simulator mode, or you can actually also use another real powerful function that Corona SDK has, which is Composer. And Composer works a bit like Game Maker, where you can simply just drag and drop items onto the screen, and with a few tweaks and button selections, you can almost build a simple game like Angry Birds in a matter of minutes, rather than where with more complicated ones you're using Lua Glider to go in and code the different aspects. So it's gives you quite a bit of variety on how exactly you tackle each game depending on the complexity of what you want to achieve. Now Corona SDK, the enterprise version, is free to download and to use. Lua Glider is free to download, but I think it's something like £90 a year to use the license. So again, it's not too much, guys, if you're trying to start you know, up a new indie company, so it's definitely worth a look at. Now going from the more technical side, we'll go to the slightly lighter side of things. If you're more interested in the art side or the art side of game development, then you'll like this. So in the background, you may have noticed two app icons here. The first one is for our recently released game Waterjet vs Megalodon, which, as I say, is free to download now, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, give it a go. And then the second app icon we have here is also for our new game ROTX, which is short for Revenge of the Xenomorph. And both of these were created using a program called GIMP 2.8, and GIMP 2.8 is free to download. It has loads of powerful functions that have been added to it over time by other art enthusiasts who either enjoy making games or doing other computer art. It's a great tool to use. It has it's probably one of the most powerful tools out there, other than your Autodesk, which unfortunately does cost you considerably more unless you've got a student license. So it's definitely worth a look, guys, if you're looking to get into the art side of things. As I say, you can see from here I was able to create these two high resolution images simply using that. If you want any links or any information at all, you know, leave us a comment and just let us know, and I can always get back to you on that. Also, one of the other tools that we use as well, because one of the things I didn't explain earlier is Lua Glider and Corona uses OpenGL, and it's majority a 2D game engine. So when we want to create complex scenes where we give an idea or a hint of something being 3D, we can't just simply drop in a camera, rotate around an object and create you know, zoom or rotation of a scene to create that. We have to think a little bit sharper about it, because we're having to use sprites, and we have to try and be memory conservative. But what we can do is something similar to what they used to do in the olden days of sort of stop motion with 3D objects. So what we do here, we create a 3D object, and then we do stop motion animation of, say, a rotation or something, and this then gives the effect or the illusion that we're actually rotating a 3D environment, or an object is 3D when really it's still just a 2D image. And how we go about do that? Well, we create our image, or our object I should say, and to do that in this version we're using Cinema 4D, and we're looking at here is actually some outcrops for one of our new scenes that we're creating. I haven't been able to show you all of that yet, but you'll be able to get a bit of an idea of that soon. And basically what you can see me actually adding here at the moment, all these little white dots, is actually a frame to our crops, so we'll be able to edit it and rotate and move it and give a general blustery sort of effect that the crop's been moved by the wind. And so we've had to add everything for the stem and also for the leaves, so they can be properly animated and rotated and moved to give a nice fluid effect. And we'll do a stop sort of animation of that. You know, we'll say move a part of it and then we'll render an image of that and go back and do it again, and then we'll integrate that then into the scene after it's been touched up slightly in GIMP 2.8 ready for the actual game. So that's one of many methods in which we can use to step around issues of things like, as I say, where we need to give it a 3D effect using a 2D engine. So that's mainly it for now, guys. But however, if there is more you'd like to know about any of the aspects I've covered today, just let me know for the next episode. As I say, they're mini episodes just to give you guys a bit more of an insight on what we do and some of the stuff we use. So if you're interested in getting involved in it as well, you can look at some of the stuff that we use, or you know, if you're just interested in what we do, which is just equally as fantastic, you know, just let us know what you'd like to see more of. One last thing also as well before you go, we'll give you just a quick sneak peek of our upcoming game so you can get a bit of an idea. It'll only be a brief few seconds, but obviously as time goes on you'll get more and more of an insight. But thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.